Welcome back. Another day on the farm, another job to do, and that is multiple things today. Multiple things which we're going to be struggling to get done, and they want rain tomorrow, so we got to get it done. We're going to harvest our wheat, and we don't have a combine to do that. Now, it is a very small plot, so it shouldn't be hard, and I do have a semi-easy way to do it by hand instead of using a scythe. So we are obviously, you know, the homestead, kind of a small farm, very small farm, small scale. Now we do have tractors, stuff like that, so if I had a sickle mower, that would be easy too. But we're gonna be cutting some wheat, and we're gonna be planting our pumpkins today. And in doing that, by cutting our wheat first, we can till that under and plant our pumpkins in that exact same spot. So the plan here is, I have a hedge trimmers, and I feel like that's gonna probably work the best. You know, it's still gonna kind of suck, but it's gonna be probably a lot easier than like a scythe. And some of it's starting to fall over, so we really need to get this done. And a lot of the ragweed, a lot of the weeds are coming up, so I need to get it done. But we're gonna just kind of go along the rows. Anywhere where there's like a lot of weeds and stuff, we're not gonna worry about, because ultimately we're just gonna get more weeds than anything. But it's definitely ready. I mean, it's definitely dry, definitely ready. So I think I'm gonna try and harvest all of it. And up there, it's really nice and thick up in that area, which is where, like I said before in one of the past videos, we had a jump up there from the old motocross track, and I think a lot of the nutrients, like the soil, got flipped, and I'm assuming that's why that turned out really nice. But I'll throw this like in a bag and we'll thrash it somehow and, you know, try to get out all them seeds and stuff. But basically I'm just gonna walk down all the rows, cut it all down, pick it all up, and throw it in the wagon. And then we have this whole entire area that we're gonna till up, and it'll work great for a plot for pumpkins. This is a pretty decent sized plot for what we have, and we have some more areas. The weeds have just completely overtaken everything, and it's really unfortunate. I should have sprayed stuff, but the sweet corn over there looks really nice. The field corn, however, I had to replant twice, or plant the first time and then replant. And down there it's doing okay, but again, there's just so many weeds. So next year we're gonna be doing it a lot different. As you can see, it basically just lays it over real nice, and you can come along and just kind of pick it up. All you guys in your air-conditioned combine cabs, I'm a little jealous. Oh my word! We are 3/4 of the way done, and I'm not gonna lie, because of the fact that you have to be hunched over with the hedge trimmers, it's terrible. It is way too hot for this. Oh, I should have brought a drink. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Wow, I did not think this through. I can honestly say I am glad that's done. And I really wish I had either a sickle bar mower, a pull behind combine, or some better way to do this. I don't think it's worth it. It ain't worth doing it by hand. I am soaked. Oh my word. Well, it's done. And now I get to rake it all up, which is actually easier than cutting it. Cutting it, you gotta be hunched over. I think that's what's killing me. So I'll get this all raked up and thrown in the trailer, and we are definitely not thrashing it tonight. No way. I raked it into a windrow basically, so I can just go along and pick it all up. The problem that I noticed with doing that is, yeah, it combined it all into one row. But as you can see, if the camera picks it up, it's basically with the rake dragging it across, it's kind of thrashing it already, and wheat's flying off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Gotta at least get something out of it, I would think. Better than nothing. Is it worth my time doing this without equipment? No, definitely not. This will probably be a one and done. As cool as it is to, you know, see this all grow and come together, and this grew really nice, it's not worth it. It's all picked up. It's real nice rows in here. Somebody, random person just coming up here might say, oh, you cut your wheat, you combined your wheat. Well, you could say that, but not exactly. Anyway, this is the last load. There is definitely a bunch laying on the ground, but in doing it by hand, I'm not gonna get that critical with it. And I know when I till it in, I'm gonna till a ton of wheat seeds back into the ground, and I know they're gonna grow up with the pumpkins. It's fine, it is what it is. And maybe it'll shelter out some of the weeds. So we're gonna run up. I'll grab the tractor, hook the rototiller to it, and we will get tilling on all these plots. Actually, I think before that, I'm gonna bring up the mower, because there's a plot over there, and a bunch of the other plots, it's just full of weeds, and all that's gonna do is clog the tiller up. And it may anyway, with, you know, once you cut it, but I think it's gonna be better off than I know exactly where to till. Well, I'm gonna hop in the Coyote. We're gonna hook the tiller up. The mower wouldn't start for whatever reason. I don't know if the battery's dead. There's something going on screwy with it anyway. You have to jump from the battery to the starter, and it just clicks, and so I don't know. It was totally fine before. It sparked one time on the positive side, and now it won't do anything. So maybe the battery's fried. I don't know, but it's always worst possible time. Anyway, I'll go till it anyway. That way we can plant pumpkins tonight, because it's like 20 to 7, so we have a couple hours of daylight, but we got a lot of seeds to plant. Tiller's hooked. See how bad it clogs up with weeds. I don't know. I've tilled with it before, but it just gets, we'll probably have to go over it a couple times, just for the simple fact that it's gonna clump up and, you know, kind of hold the weeds. We need to chop it up a lot, make it really smooth. So I don't know, we'll see what it does. What was once a nice wheat field is an even nicer, fresh, tilled plot. And this is gonna be one of our many pumpkin fields. And I'm not sure which variety. Haley ended up having to throw away one of the seeds because they got all moldy. So we lost one pack, but we still do have 2 packs, pie pumpkins and carving pumpkins, which is still perfect. So we're gonna try and separate them. I know I have a plot over on the other side, and we also have a plot up next to the potatoes. So we'll see how the other plots go. I did go over this twice, because just to make sure we got everything, and it's really nice loamy soil. So we'll run over to the next plot by the potatoes, and then run over to the other side of the corn and get everything tilled up. We could till the clover, because the majority of that's like grass and weeds anyhow, but there is a lot of clover underneath. So I don't know. I'll probably let that go just to see what it does. And we could cut it once, because I know, like I said, I know there's a lot of clover under there. So we'll hop over the other side. It's about 7 o'clock, 10 after. So we got a lot of seeds to plant. There's more in those packs than I thought, which is fine. Hopefully we have a good turnout this year. Last year our pumpkins were kind of small, and I planted them way too early. They were done by like August. So hopefully we have them by Halloween. And this is why it should have been mowed. It's doing a pretty good job, honestly. But again, you can see all the weeds and the grass. It really should have been mowed. But either way, I guess you'd have all that junk laying around. We'll have to go over this 2 times at least. This is our final patch. And this is a pretty decent sized pumpkin field right here. I mean, I'm guessing we're gonna have enough seeds to do all this, but honestly, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of seeds in the bags that we do have. So this is field number 1, tiny field number 2, field number 3, field number 4, and field number 5. So we got a lot of area. And like I said, I do hope that we do have, you know, enough seeds. And I don't know. We got 2 bags. Looks like I need to hill the potatoes again. Should probably do that. First and foremost, wow, I'm kind of shocked that the tiller doesn't have more junk wrapped up in it, because the last one that I just did, it was really tall. And this is one of the cornfields that is just completely doing terrible. There's corn in there, but we won't talk about that. It's pumpkin planting time. So here's what we got. These are our pie pumpkins. That's a decent amount of seeds. And then we have our regular, she has on here carving pumpkins. So probably your, you know, standard looking orange pumpkin. So I would imagine it almost looks like I probably have more of the pie pumpkins than anything. It's pretty close to the same, but it looks like there's more of those. So I'll probably save those for the opposite side. And if I have enough, I may try and do it that, you know, because of, there's the 2 plots here and they're on kind of in the middle between the motocross track. So maybe that's how I'll separate, you know, one variety on this side of the moto track and then another variety on the other side. But as you can see, the sun is going down. So I need to get these in the ground ASAP. And they're really not that hard. You just take a bunch, you kind of walk along. I think roughly you space them like 3 feet apart. And I usually do that just by, you know, if I plant one here, I'll just take a step like this, plant another one, and so on and so forth. I know I'm kind of losing daylight here, but kind of just to give an overview, these are going really far, which is fine, that's great. But just to give an overview of how I kind of go about planting them is, as I've said, I take, you know, big steps. So as you can see, there's a set of my footprints right there. So I'll step here, put one in the ground, step again, put one in the ground. So basically, that's my markers too. So you can see I have one row up in there, another row here, and then another row up in here. So you can kind of follow them out through and you can see my footsteps the whole way out. So right now, 1, 2, 3, we have 4 rows. We're working on row number 5. We may get 7 rows in here, depending how it works out. I'm not sure. It kind of just depends how it ends up at the end there, if we have enough room between the rows. Spacing's roughly 3 to 4 feet apart from each seed, and anywhere from 3 to 4 feet between each row. So give or take, it always is going to depend on the variety that you have. You know, if you have large pumpkins or, you know, mini pumpkins, you probably plant those a little bit closer together. This is just how I do it. I haven't really, you probably could use a seeder somehow to plant these, but as far as you space these apart, it's just easier, and then you know you're getting them in the ground at the right spot. So that's just kind of how I do it. Field number 1 is done, and we've hardly put a dent in this bag, which means, now granted, that other plot over there is much bigger. I mean, it's a little bit bigger than this, but not a whole lot. We have one more plot on this side, and I don't think we're gonna run out. Well, it is officially getting to the point where I can't really see, and you can't hardly see me either. But this is what we're left with. Hopefully the camera's picking that up good enough. I did not get the big patch over there on that side done. I did, however, get this patch done. Hopefully the camera's picking all this up. This patch next to the potatoes. And I did manage to get two of the fields done with these, with the pie pumpkins over there on that side, but we still have the big field left over here. So what I'm gonna do, I have another spot that I could potentially plant a lot more of these seeds. And even then, I don't know if we're gonna use them all, which is fine. But if I can do that, it'll give us a lot more plants, then that would be sweet. So I gotta find out, see if I can do that. And I will resume this tomorrow. Next day, and we can get this last plot here done. And I think that other field area that I was talking about of potentially planting, I think that's probably going to be a go. Probably do that because obviously we have enough of the carving pumpkins, and then, you know, this is a decent sized field area here. However, there is a lot of seeds left here, so regardless, I think we'll have enough to do that extra field, and that's kind of down by the house. So I'll get this planted here, and then we'll have to hook up the tiller again on the tractor, on the Coyote. And I took it off last night, so we'll have to hook that all back up again, which is fine, takes a couple minutes. And then we should be good to go with pumpkins, and hopefully they're good and ready by Halloween. Well, this field's all planted, and this is what we have left. Still a decent amount. Pair that with what's left here, and we got enough for a pretty decent sized plot yet. So everything's done up here. I'm gonna grab the tractor again, go till the other areas, and then we should be good to go and all done planting pumpkins. Slowly but surely getting this last plot tilled. And this one's a big one. The only problem is it is really tall weeds and grass down there. Still couldn't get my mower to work, so I gotta just till with the weeds, and it's gonna take a little while. Well, it took a while, a long while, and multiple passes, but I did manage to get everything tilled here. And this is a pretty big plot, but it necks down a lot over on that side, and I believe there's a spring right there, as you can see in the darker area, so stuff's probably not going to grow too well right there. And I think I came up with a solution so I don't have to be bending over planting each seed, is just a piece of pipe. This is 3/4 PVC with a 1-inch mark on there, and I think, especially with it being dry, you'll push it into the ground and this dirt should fall in and you drop the seed down the top. Should work, and then I don't have to bend over. I'm getting tired of planting pumpkins at this point. Carving pumpkin bag is empty. We're down to the pie pumpkin bag. And we are probably halfway-ish through here. So our last row is right here, I believe, shooting down. So all that is carving pumpkins. We'll take a good gap here. That way we can try and keep them separate. And we'll start our pie pumpkins. And also, we got a storm coming. So I need to get these in the ground. That way, you know, they'll get a good head start right after planting, getting a good rain on them. I don't know if that's gonna hit us or not. Sometimes it'll miss. I guess we'll find out. Well, I am done. Finished planting pumpkins, and we still have quite a few seeds left. We went through a lot though. I planted the whole thing. It really wasn't gonna go down past here because a lot of that is just grass that really didn't get chopped up. There is dirt, but I don't really know how well that's gonna come up. I guess we planted it anyway. We'll just see what happens. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. This section over here should do really well because this was a lot more dirt and a lot more loamy soil. Kind of ditched the pipe idea probably 3/4 of the way through the carving pumpkins. It was working, but I feel like I could do it faster just having to bend over and put the seeds in the ground. If you have really good deep loamy soil and it's tilled nice and you don't have a lot of that grass stuff, then it works great because the soil, you push it down so far to your line and then you can go a little bit past, and then the soil actually, you want to do it when it's dry, you don't want to do it when it's wet, but the soil actually falls down around the seed. So it worked pretty well. Anyway, we're done planting pumpkins. That should do it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you have a great day. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.